All right, so it says we're live. Hopefully it is correct. We are live. And just want to welcome everybody. I'm Rob with ScrappyDew.com, and today we got the panel. We have Ken, we have Michelle Mybell. I'll let them introduce themselves real quick on where you can find them and so on. So we'll go ahead and start with Ken.
Hey everyone, my name's Ken. I'm with Ken's Creations. You can find my blog over at www.creativeken.blogspot.com, where I go over everything Cricut Explore and Silhouette Cameo, and soon the Brothers Scan and Cut, where I do a lot of machine reviews, and I like to put them head to head and see how they do against each other in the duel of machines. So make sure you're checking out my blog and my YouTube channel, where you can find it on my blog. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you over at my blog.
All right, next we have Michelle Mybell. She's been with ScrappyDew a very long time. She helps us with support and everything else, and I'll let her introduce herself where you can find her website.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Michelle. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm design team leader for ScrappyDew, and I also help out with the ScrappyDew Facebook page. And you can find my blog at michellemybellcreations.com.
All right, so just going over some of the ground rules in case you are new to this. You have to keep in mind that there's about a 30 to 60 second delay between what we are talking about and what you guys are actually seeing. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to post them wherever you're watching this video, whether that be YouTube or watching on the live event page. But I will tell you that if you watch it on the live event page, you'll get a little more out of it. And I'm just going to show you my desktop real quick on what I'm talking about, because there's a few new things that have been added to this. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you should see a little box down there. That's what you should click on, because once you click on that, you should have a big screen, okay? And this is where you can start asking your questions and stuff. So you can click that little green box down there at the bottom, and you can ask your question. And once you click that green box, it should look like this. That way you can submit the question. Now, if you like a question that someone has asked, you can go ahead and hit that little +1 button, and that will move it to the top. Let us know that it is important, that you would like our attention in answering that question. If you are not seeing that question, the question box, they did add this new thing. So up here, it looks like a bunch of grid squares. So if you click that, you should see Q&A and Showcase. We're going to be using both of these today, and we'll let you know in the video or this live session when you should go Showcase, when you should go Q&A. So if you do have a question, put it in the Q&A box. We'll monitor that, and when we are talking about where you can purchase items and stuff like that, we'll put it in the Showcase so you guys can use those links. Okay. So got all the admin part out of the way here, and so we're going to start off here. Let me see. We're going to start off now. We're going to talk about what kind of great deals that are out there right now for all you crafters out there. And we're going to start off with Ken. He's got some great deals with Cricut. He's got some great deals with the Silhouette Studio. So he's going to talk a little bit about some of those. So as Ken's talking about them, I'm going to be putting those Showcase links. So if you go to the Showcase, I'm going to start putting those in there as he's talking about them. So you guys can go ahead and click those.
All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen too. So let me go ahead and do that for you. Now, when they say it is Christmas in July, that is what they mean. I'm going to actually take you over to my blog here. And on my blog, I just wanted to let you guys know I am an affiliate of Cricut. I'm also an affiliate of ScrappyDew, or Scrap Factory Doll Builder, and I like to say that because anyone that you guys see posting on Facebook, usually posting those Amazon links or the Cricut links, or saying, hey, this is a great deal, check it out, is usually an affiliate sponsor, and they do make a small commission, and by law they are supposed to tell you they are an affiliate and making a small commission. So I just want to preface that I am an affiliate, and if you do support me by going to my blog and clicking on these links, I would greatly appreciate it. But I do want to let you know that Cricut is having a huge Christmas in July sale, and you can find it on my blog. Right now they have 40% off. So I will scroll down here to the main link. So 40% off all of their images, 40% off supplies, including the new Cricut German Carbide Blades, 40% off all embossing folders, and the Cricut Explore machine is on sale. So if you go down here to where it says huge Cricut sale, I have all the links there where it says buy here, and it will actually, if you click on any of these ones, the supplies are the big ones that I think people like, it will actually take you immediately right to, I've already set it up where it will take you directly to that category. And the big one is, like I said, the supplies list. Also, if you use the certain codes, they have free ship 35, and that has to be all in caps. And that will give you free shipping. So let me go down once again to this one. Free ship 35 will give you free shipping on orders over $35. Or, and I preference or because it's one or the other, you can use their holiday code. Sorry to scroll on you guys, but holiday code July Christmas Xmas. So July Xmas, all caps, and that'll get you $5 off orders over 50. So this is a huge sale. It was going to be just for yesterday because of the huge success. They've extended it, so definitely take advantage of it while you can. There's tons of links on Facebook. You can follow those links. You can go to my blog, so definitely check that out. Another huge sale going on right now is if you go to Silhouette America, and if you go to their shop link, and go to the Silhouette Studio Designer Edition. Now, they usually have sales on this, but not as good as that I've seen this. But if you go to the Designer Edition, add this to your cart, and then, of course, if we go to the cart, if you actually put in your, let me put in, calculate my shipping here. But if you actually, sign in here so I can use a bargain. If you actually use the code BARGAIN, it will actually take off and bring it down to $29.99, which is a huge discount for the Designer Edition software. And the Designer Edition software opens up a ton of abilities in the Silhouette Studio. Probably the biggest one is the ability to bring in SVG files into that software. So that's a huge sale that's going on in the Silhouette Studio. So if you guys have not joined the Cut Zone, which is a community that we have set up on Google, make sure you join it because we do post these sales frequently in this community, and you will not miss out on these sales because a lot of these sales come and go very quickly. Some of them are a day only, so make sure you guys are part of that community for these quick sales. So those are two quick sales going on right now, Christmas and July. A lot of these sales happen right now, so make sure you get part of those sales.
Oh, all right. So the next type of sale that I wanted to show you that is out there, and I just found that out this past week, is the Pop-Up Card Studio. If you haven't tried it out, there's a free demo of Pop-Up Card Studio. You can go ahead and go to ScrappyDew.com/ScrappyDew.com, and then you can go to the Pop-Up Card Studio. I'm going to put the link in the showcase here, just in case you guys are wondering where to go. And so while this is going up here, all right. So the coupon code's already included in the link, and so if you just go to purchase, typically it's more than $59.96. So if you go over here to purchase, and the coupon code that you'll put in here is Spring14. So I just found out this coupon code the other day. So you do save $20. Of course, if you already have Make the Cut, you do save money as well. So go ahead and check that out if that's something that you're wanting as well. And I do want to say that if you go to ScrappyDew.com and you go to the Scrap Factory, I believe there's some coupons left for the Scrap Factory as well. And if you go over to, actually we'll go to -12, I believe. There we go, -12.com/Scrap Factory. and you come down here and you just go ahead and click the purchase, and it takes it down to $15. I believe the coupon code's still working. Well, that's Pop-Up Cart Studio. I don't know why it did that. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so go there. It's $15. I don't know why it's acting like that on my screen here. But anyways, check those two out. Great deals on both. All right. It looks like we got our guest came in of the Popsicle Man, so I'm going to let him introduce himself as well. You there, Christopher? I guess he's not. Maybe he is.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. He's probably getting set up. Sorry, I just noticed you came, so I thought I'd throw you a shout out.
That's all right. Hi everyone. My name is Christopher Allen, and I'm with Christopher Allen Designs. And as was mentioned, I did do the Cricut Popsicle video that I will never get away from, and you can find it on the Christopher Allen Designs YouTube channel. For anyone that's joining from my YouTube group, I know that I'm in a different location. I'm actually in my new craft room / studio, and there'll be a video posted soon, so no one's worried about what's going on, where is he, what's happening.
All right. Yeah. Cool. I do thank you, Chris, for coming in. Your segment's coming up a little later.
Okay.
But feel free to join the conversation with what we're going to be talking about. Next on the agenda, we're going to be talking with Michelle. She's going to be showing us a quick little demo on how you can do some nifty stuff with the wireframe, and sure cuts a lot with some ScrappyDew patterns, I think. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this tutorial should help you learn how to piece things together with Shortcuts a Lot.
Okay. I'm going to be using Shortcuts Law 3. And I created this tutorial for Make the Cut probably about, I'm going to say almost 2 years ago. And I've also done a silhouette one, and I have to finish up the scale one. A lot of people had some questions about, once they cut the pattern files, how to assemble them. So I came up with this idea, and it's fairly quick and easy, and I'll show you. Okay, what I'm going to do is I clicked on the SVG, Import SVG, and I'm going to select the Bubbles 2014 pattern file. And I'm going to click on the SVG folder, and I will click on this file here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Object and Ungroup. Okay. And in the Layers panel, what I'm going to do is at the very bottom of the Layers panel is the completed pieced layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock it, and then I'm going to select all, and I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. And that's going to delete all the layers I don't need for this right now. And then I'm going to go back up and unlock the layer. Okay. Move this up a little bit to the top of the mat. Sorry about that. Okay, and then I'm going to resize it. You want to resize it probably to about 4 inches, only that when the item is printed, you'll be able to see the layers where they all go together. Okay, I'm going to click on the fill right here, and I'm going to click None, and then I'm going to come over to the stroke. And then I'm going to select color, and I'm going to click on the box right here to select what color. And I'm going to do it a gray. Okay. So as you can see, you are now able to see all the different layers that belong to this file. Okay. And then what you can do is you can print this and take this sheet of paper to your craft area. I work both upstairs and downstairs. So if I'm working upstairs, sometimes I need a reference, and if I don't have my computer on upstairs, I'll just take this piece of paper with me upstairs, and it helps guide me to where each of these little piecings go. And what you also want to do is you want to make sure that when you place this on the mat, when you go to click on Print Preview, okay, that it's inside the area right here, the dotted line. Okay, and my file's inside the area, so it will print correctly. If you do have it up a little bit higher, then it's up on the mat, then it's not going to print correctly. And that's about it for that.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, a lot of people they sometimes they say how do I put these together, and so that's sort of why we put a completed doll usually in the bottom right-hand corner of all our SVGs, so that you can not only visually you can pull them apart, or you can print them off just like Michelle said, and it's almost like you're putting together a puzzle whenever you piece those together. So, all right. Now, for any of you guys just joining, just keep in mind that there's about a 30 to 60 second delay between what we're talking about. So if you do have a question, feel free to post them. We're tracking all of them, and we have several questions that I forgot to get to at the beginning, and so we're going to start off with some questions. I don't know, which one did you want to answer first, Ken? Did you have one in mind?
No, I think the easiest one is going to be the spray adhesive.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a question. In one of my videos, I just did a video where I made a fox card, and I showed a technique where you can, instead of taking your tape gun, your HT gun, you can actually use spray adhesive. And there's two different spray adhesives I use. This one, if you want to go to a store and buy it, I use the one from Hobby Lobby, and this one's called Treehouse. Works good. Or you can go to Amazon, and it is the best one that I've gotten is I believe it's called the Chiron or the Cryon spray adhesive. I've used the 3M, and I wasn't too wild about that one, so I've given Rob the link to the Amazon one, and that's the one that I've used. That's the best. So this stuff works really good for paper adhesive. I just spray it on the back. So if you need to get a whole back spray adhesive, or if you need to you have a lot of pieces and you don't want to use tape or anything, and you have intricate pieces, this works really good to spray the whole back and lay it flat. So works really good. But that's the brand I use.
Yeah, I just put it up in the Showcase app, so you can go ahead and use that link. Helps Ken out if you do end up purchasing it, because he is an affiliate with Amazon. So go ahead and check it out. All right. Let me check the Q&A. Which one would you like to tackle next, Ken?
Whatever one. Tell me which one, and I'll go there. All
right. Barb Reese, she asks, how do you move text closer together to weld the letters in? Is this in Design Space?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me share my screen on that one. All right. So let me log in here. So when you add text in Design Space, you're going to have this edit box behind here. So your layers box comes up. You're going to have this box behind here. And down below here, you have a letter spacing right here. So you can actually move this down or up, whatever you want. And as you can see, your letters are going to, as much as you want or as far as apart as you want, shrink your letters, your spacing up and down. You can obviously, if you want to too, up here, space out your letters there if it's too close. But that's how you're going to get your spacing between your letters. Now, once you've determined your spacing as whatever your spacing you like it to be, you can actually click out of that, draw a box around it, come to your layers window, which is now behind your edit here, and just hit your weld button, and that will weld your letters together. Oops, accidentally hit the wrong button. I'm sorry, guys. And it should have worked. Christopher, am I doing something wrong? I thought that's how it's worked every time for me.
Maybe Chris may know.
It's actually a known issue right now that if the letters are too close together, I actually just saw this on a message board about, I think, a little under a week ago, that if the letters are too close together, there is a problem where it's doing that kind of strange whiteout on it. So
interesting.
Yeah, if you move the letters, I actually had this problem the other day, and I went searching for it because I was doing it with
Look at that. That is absolutely, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's something weird that's happening right now, but they're fixing it. There was an answer on the message board.
You learn something new every day. So
gotcha. Yeah, now,
thanks for popping in that answer.
Now, Ken, is there any way to, like you did in Silhouette Studio, move individual letters?
Yes, there is. So
where you want them?
Yes. So if you actually go and hit, let's see here, you can actually ungroup, and now that I've welded it, you can actually ungroup it and move individual letters. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think what you did to begin with is what everyone knows as kerning text, where you can squish them together and move them further apart.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the most thing is being able to squish them and weld and stuff. I'm glad Chris told me that because I didn't know what that it was doing that function there. But the letter spacing, now the same thing here, this line spacing, if you have multiple lines, the same thing will apply there where you can move your line spacing here. But you can absolutely move them. The other thing here is you have this function here if you don't want to ungroup them. You also have this function that will separate them as a quick key there. So you have that function as well. If you don't want to ungroup them, that's your quick key. So.
All right. All right. I'm going to go with this question here. She's just asking something very basic. Says, good evening. Will this be available via YouTube later? I arrived late. Yes, all of our videos are going to be available. As soon as the show ends, it goes right up on YouTube as a recorded show. So, yes, and if you follow ScrappyDew Creations on Google+, you'll see it posted there as well. All right. This statement goes back to Michelle. Jana was saying that wireframe method works very well with Make the Cut. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, Make the Cut, you can do it as well. I don't have my Windows computer booted up. Otherwise, probably show you how to do that. I don't know if Michelle has her Windows booted up on her computer.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. We're like all Mac users except for Christopher. He's the Windows user here. All right. Right. So here's another question for you, Ken. And this comes from Jean. And she said that she's tried to register her, she said, have you tried to register any new cartridges on the Cricut site? I can't find anywhere to register them. I get a page that says whoopsie, like it's a mistake. She's like, I have 6 new cartridges to register. I've tried several different days. What advice do you have to give to Jean?
Sure, yeah. I'll share my screen. If she's doing it via the Cricut site, because you can register your cards a couple of different ways, but I'll show you the Cricut site. From the main Cricut site, here's Cricut. You have to log in. So you have to sign in on this tiny little sign-in button up here. So you're going to sign in. So you're going to have a Cricut.com account. If you don't already have an account, you have to create an account. But if you already have an account, you're going to sign in here. And that's going to just basically take you back to your home screen. So it's just going to take you back here, but however, it's going to have your name up here. So then you're going to go click on your name, And then over here on the left-hand side, you're going to have a thing that says Registered Products. You're going to click on that, and this is going to bring up all of the products that you've registered with Cricut, including the products that you've linked in Design Space. And then over here, you have a little Add button. You're going to click your Add button. It's going to bring up a pop-up window, and this is where you can add the product. So it's going to bring up any of your products, or you can type it. So you could type whatever the product is. So if I had a Hannah Montana, I'd put in the serial number, the purchase date, and where I purchased it, and then hit save, and then that would add it. So that's how you would do it for the Cricut site. If you're doing it through Design Space, all you're going to do is once you're logged in, you want to make sure you're logged in, you're just going to link the cartridge. And once you've linked the cartridge to your Design Space account, it automatically registers it right here. So it would automatically do it here, and it would basically tell you it was linked then. It would automatically tell you it was linked via the machine. So you could do it one of two ways. I would say the easiest way is to just link it. That's going to be the easiest way, but some people want to do it via the website, which is fine too. Either way, it would work. If you do it this way via the website, it's still going to show up in your account, but the majority of people would say the easiest way is going to be if you have Design Space and you have the Explorer to do it this way.
All right. All right. This is coming in from the comment tracker, Ken. You mentioned that one of your next videos you're going to be reviewing the scan and cut.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this person asks, will you be doing a review of the Pazzles Vue? She said that she just heard about this from Julie. She's one of the Make the Cut tutorial Yahoo group owners, and she said that she got her shipping notice today, and it's supposed to be 1,000 grams of cutting pressure and would highly improve print and cut. She said she would love to see a hangout on this. Would you think about doing one of these for the Pazzles Vue?
You know, my goal is in the next 6 months to a year, I actually want to try to review as many machines as I can and do comparisons. The thing I'm really careful is I want to be fair in my reviews, so I'm trying to do comparisons of comparing and reviewing of machines that are equivalent. So, putting a Pazzles maybe against the Explorer, I'm not sure if that would be fair, but I definitely want to get and review machines because on my YouTube page, those seem to be the most popular videos I have is the comparisons and reviews of machines, and I've been hearing more and more about the Pazzles, so I definitely am looking at trying to purchase that. The only drawback is machines are expensive, so I have to definitely save up my money to do this. So,
yes,
but definitely want to.
So that's where those affiliate links come in handy, you know.
Yes.
So, yes. So
I agree.
Helps fill the pockets to help
Yes.
buy machines. So, all right. This one is for the Scrap Factory. I guess it's for me, I guess. She said she just bought Scrap Factory Doll Builder and several add-on packs, plus a lot of other patterns from the site, from our ScrappyDew site. And she says, I build a doll and assemble it just fine. Just wondering, she tried out the wrestler pattern, but it isn't like the doll builder. She's like, can you explain the difference between the doll builder and some of the legacy files? And the wrestler file, I'd have to go back and look at it. Michelle, do you know what year the wrestler pattern was created? Was that last year or was it?
Offhand, no. Let me see. I can check the store.
Okay. Well, while she's checking that out, what we're actually doing with Scrap Factory, Scrap Factory's a doll builder, and we are trying to. What Crystal, my wife, is trying to do now is she'll design one for the store, and so people can buy from the store, and then she's going to try to make that same exact expansion pack fit the Scrap Factory as well. So for the people that don't own Scrap Factory, they can still purchase it in the store, or they can purchase it in Scrap Factory and use that mix and match feature with just just expands the possibilities of that basic set that she gives you. Basically, if you buy that set from the store, you're only getting maybe 4 characters. But if you buy it from Scrap Factory, you're still getting those same 4 characters, but the same hair from the original Scrap Factory will fit those dolls. So you can build multiple dolls just from that little expansion pack. And we are trying to possibly go back into the what we've created previously to make it an expansion pack for Scrap Factory. But yeah, I mean, Crystal's only one person, so she's trying to do both things at once, and so we're trying to come out with 2 to 3 expansion packs a month for Scrap Factory, and then while she's still trying to fill her store up with just normal patterns that ScrappyDew fans would love to have. All right, not seeing any more questions. I'm going to get Christopher into this conversation here. I had a question about the Cricut cartridges after we register them. What happened? Say I wanted to sell them. Do I have to deregister it with Cricut? Or if I buy something from eBay, how am I guaranteed that that person did not register it?
Well, that's actually kind of a touchy subject and has been a very touchy subject for a long time with Cricut and ProvoCraft. Basically, the best way to explain it is you should not technically sell your cartridges after you have linked them.
Okay.
There was kind of a large write-up on ProvoCraft a little while back that kind of was a slap on the wrist to individuals that were doing things like that. Simply because when the linking became a big thing with the Expressions 2, a lot of people started doing that because they figured, I'll link my cartridge and then sell it to someone that has an older machine. The problem with that is if you are linking your cartridges and then you are selling your cartridges, if there would ever be a situation where you needed to use your cartridge on an older machine or you needed to use your cartridge with Cricut Craft Room, sometimes if you want to be offline, myself for instance, I kept, as you can see behind me, all of my old machines. So just in case I can't be online, I am able to still use my Cricut cartridges, and I'm just get kind of worried about it. Like I don't want to let them go because I've collected them for so long. But the answer is you want to be very careful when you're looking for them on eBay. A lot of times they will say that they're unlinked, or they will say that they are not joined, and it's kind of at your own risk because you can use the cartridges obviously in any of the other machines, but if it is a linked cartridge, you absolutely will not be able to use it with the Explore. It has to be an unlinked cartridge to use it with that.
I see. So me as a user, you said I technically can't sell the cartridge once I link it.
Yeah, I mean you're not supposed to, but people do.
Yeah. I mean, I see it all the time on Buku and eBay, and so I guess there is no way for me to say, hey, I want to sell this. I want to delink this from my account. I no longer want it.
No, I mean, I haven't seen a way to delink anything. I mean, that might be Ken. I don't know if you've ever seen a way to delink something. I have not. So I don't think.
Yeah, there's unfortunately not a way to delink a cartridge. The only exception Cricut has ever made is when they had gypsies and not gypsies, but the gypsy machines. But they had the gypsy machines and people had cartridges linked to their gypsies and the gypsies broke. And they bought a new gypsies. They were transferring your link cartridges from that over to the new ones, and that was the only exceptions they've ever made. But there's no way to delink or to get rid of it and unlink a cartridge so you could resell it. Absolutely not. They've never had that ability. No.
Gotcha. All right, Michelle, I saw that you had your screen up with the wrestlers. I don't know if you still have it up or not. I guess not.
I'll get it again. 1 minute.
Okay, sorry. I'll always come back to you, Michelle. I'll come back to you. I don't know if this is more of a comment or a question. This one says, Chris, you demonstrated how to take a photo and make an image. Is there a method to do this to create a silhouette image or a shadow?
Are they asking in like using the silhouette machine or?
I think. Well, did you do a video on?
Yeah.
Or you said you demonstrated how to take a photo and make it in an image. And
Yeah, I did an image use. I did a video showing how to take an image and actually create a negative of the image to make a of course I don't have it in this new room, but you are able to do that exact same technique that I do show you in that video if you watch the video. But all you'll do is when you're in that program, it's actually called Stencilgram. When you're in that program, you just want to make sure that you take one of the levels, which is actually the darkening level, up. You can move the levels to whichever way to make it however you would like. So you can do that in Stencilgram, or you can do it also in Design Space.
Gotcha. And that will create a silhouette type of image.
Yeah, it's the exact same. If you just watch that video, it'll explain exactly how to do that, and it's easy to figure out. But if not, they can send me an email.
All right. Yeah, that came from Vonda.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Michelle's back. She's got the file. Let's take a look at her screen. So 2003 looks like.
Yeah, if you go to shop.scrappydew.com and then click on the sports category, you can scroll down here.
Okay. Yeah, the wrestler is 2003, and I'm not sure if she's asking. Based off that picture, what I can see is, you can see that they are posed. But you can still pose people in the Scrap Factory. You don't have to use our base set that we give you, like Ken showed you last week. But yeah, they're almost the same hand, same body. So the only thing is you'd have to resize the outfit. If you did want to use it with Scrap Factory. But some sets will not work with the Scrap Factory body. But we are trying to go back and find out what patterns are selling, and then make them an expansion pack. So it just takes time. Just have one person, Crystal, for our ScrappyDew website. All right. Looking for questions. I think some of my sources went away. I'm not seeing as many questions.
Yeah, there's one on there. So, Chris, Vonda wants to know your position on copyrighted images as a creator. Since you have your Patreon, she kind of wants to know what your position is on copyrighted images.
This is one of my favorite subjects. My thought on copyrighted images as a designer and as someone that creates their own images, I don't know if I could really say necessarily a position on it. I don't necessarily like it. I see, obviously with the ability with the SVGs to go ahead and use those in the different machines. If you're finding an SVG or you're creating an SVG from a file and you're using it for yourself or for your own personal use, that is fine. Unfortunately, there's a nation of creating these and taking these copyrighted images and selling them, and that is definitely not okay. So I think that in my position, obviously as an artist and a creator, I wouldn't want my images, to be used somewhere else or to be put on a website. So I personally don't like when the copyrighted images are used, but everyone is able to do their own thing. I think it's the most polite way to say it.
This was in reference to my comment. Selling a linked cartridge is like making a copy of a movie, then selling the original. It's piracy. Once a cart is linked, it's linked forever. So, yes, I now know that. But I don't sell any cartridges, so I'm not pirating.
That's hand in hand with the copywritten, I think. That's a perfect segue.
All right. Looking at the agenda here, Q&A. Ken, you can still monitor questions, and we're going to move on to the design gallery. Michelle, if you have any, I don't know if you have the photos ready of seeing what the design gallery looks like of what all ScrappyDew has created. Michelle, are you good?
Yep, just get my screen ready.
Alrighty. Looks like she booted up Make the Cut as well.
Okay. Our first project tonight is by Debbie Casey, and she shared this on the Make the Cut forum. And she's creating a book, and I believe this is page 3, if I'm not mistaken. She used the Sunday Best file and also the Back to School file, and she's also used Pop-Up Card Studio. The Back to School
Pop-Up Card Studio on sale if you want to get it.
The Back to School file can be found in the school category, and the Sunday Best file can be found in the family category. And this next project is by Fran. I shared a baby album she created last week, and this is her second baby album she created. It's also a Scrap Factory project, and this is the cover of the book. And she used the sports expansion pack, the soccer outfit, and the ginger hairstyle. And I'll give you a link to her blog where you could see the additional pages. There's a little bit of story of why there's a little bit of sports theme in there. And this is the next page, also using the ginger hairstyle. And this page uses the bedtime expansion pack and also the ginger hairstyle. I like how she added the whiskers, they're cute. And this next page, she used the bear bodies of Scrap Factory. She also manipulated the bear so she could place it on the cloud. And this is also the bear body. This is the fluffy bear. She received an email or an ad, I believe, with move beans in a jar, and she was trying to figure out a way that she could recreate that. So what she did is she cut some acrylic and she applied some stickles to the back of the jar. And this next project is by Jenna, and this was a birthday present for someone. She created a word book, and that's the album. And this is page 2, and she used the baby girl crawling file, and also the cheerleader set from the ScrappyDew base, or excuse me, Scrap Factory base set. And the frames are from the mouse file. I'll get that for you. And page 3 is she used the Camping Kids file, and that could be found in the ScrappyDew Vault. And for this page, she used the Drop Dead Divas, and she used purse 3. I believe it's Melissa Hare and the Capri outfit. And for this page, she also used the Melissa Hare, the summer outfit, and open toes body. And for this page, she used the purse 4 and Monica hairstyle, and I believe Diva Dress 4. And this next project is by Melissa, and she used the My First Bike, and that could be found in the category, in the family category. And this is a layout documenting her son riding his bike. The chevrons, I believe she got those in the Silhouette store. And she also used one of the wheels for the title. There's a close-up of the title. That turned out really nice. And this project is by Monica. She made a pyramid teepee card. And this also, I asked her if it folds flat. She said yes, it does. And she used the Santa Sneaking Presents. And that's one of the 64 files that have been added to the ScrappyDew Vault recently. And she also used the Fairy Expansion Pack. I believe Outfit 4 and Fairy Wings 2. And I think the Bobby hairstyle. And this is a new book that Susan just created. This is Gemstones, and she used the Pop-Up Card Studio, and she also used the Robots file, and that could be found in the Playroom category. And what Susan did is she interchanged some of the parts from the robot to create even more robots. And those are all the projects this week. Now, to see Fran's book, you can go to Love Bug Time, and that's at blog.blogspot.com, and you'll be able to see the completed album. She has all the information here and all the pages. She puts a lot of work into these albums. They turned out really nice. And that's it for the projects tonight.
All right. I saw you did have Make the Cut spooled up in the background. I didn't know if you wanted to show that wireframe, but before you do, I want to go ahead and show Pam Miller. She had the question. She said, you know, how can she, you know, she clicks on this and she clicks on this link here to become part of the conversation. How can she see the feed? Well, a lot of users right now are using the Q&A app. So if you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and click this, and you can view. Let me get my screen here. All right. So once you click on that, I talked about this at the beginning. This is for in case you guys missed it. This screen will pop up right here. Our live video would be over here. And if you have a question, you can go ahead and hit Post Question, and all the questions will pop up here. But if you do have a question, put it right down there, type your question, hit Submit, and then your question should appear in there. And when we answer the questions, you'll see it pop up at the top based upon questions that people have asked. And like I said, if you do think that question is a good question, go ahead and +1 it, bumps it to the top, and just prioritizes it for us, letting us know that you guys as a user have that question. Now, if you're not seeing that right away, go ahead and when you do click on that Q&A little app thing, if you go up here to the little grid squares, you click that. Just go to the Q&A, and that will make that appear. So, all right, I'm going to pass the show over to Michelle to show the wireframe real quick and Make the Cut.
Okay, I have Make the Cut open. I'm using Mac, so it does appear a little bit different. I'm going to go to File and Open, and I'm going to go to the Noah's Ark file, and I'm going to use the Completed All file, and that will bring in the whole completed piecing. Sorry, let me do that again. It's already open. Sorry about that. I was using it before. Let me start over. One more time. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now what you want to do is you can go to File, and you can go to Print Options, and what you want to do is hit Show Paper on Matte, and also Print Wireframe Only. You want to check that box and click OK. Okay, now this is, if you're printing on an 8.5 by 11, it's going to show you the paper size on your mat. And if you notice up here, there's the box. Okay, all right. If you go past this dotted line just a little bit, I'll move it up a little bit. Okay. So right now it appears that it's still in bounds of the paper, but we're not in bound of the dotted box right here. Okay, so then when you go up to File, okay, and you go to Print Preview, okay, you can see up at the top some of the sun is missing. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you're doing this, and you have the file inside the bounding box. Okay, so I'm just going to move down a little bit. Okay. And then when you print that, again, it's going to just print on your white sheet of paper, and it will print all the outline of the file, and then you'll be able to see where each piece gets put together. So it does help when, assist in when you're trying to play, especially this particular file here. There are a lot of pieces with this. So when you're trying to put it together, you have all the rainbow and all the animals, and all the layers here. So it does make a big difference. You have something to look at for a guide. And what I'll do is I will finish doing the scowl one tonight or tomorrow, and then I will post the link in the comments section, and I'll also put it into the YouTube description. And that's it for that.
All right, thanks, Michelle, for doing that. Appreciate it. Ken, I don't know if you've been monitoring questions. Do you see anything that's standing out?
There's a question that just came up that says, are you Mac users using Make the Cut under Parallels? Any special suggestions for us, or maybe plan an in-depth session on another evening? Since I don't use Make the Cut because it's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, I don't know how to answer that. So I will give that over to you, Rob.
Well, I'll tell you, with a Mac, you can do a couple things. You got the free version where you don't need Parallels or VMware Fusion or anything, and you can actually dual boot your system. Okay, so that means you partition a part of your hard drive, but the bad part about that is you can't be running Mac OS and you cannot be running Windows together. It's either one or the other. So if you want to Make the Cut, you'd have to boot up your Windows partition. So the one that I recommend is Parallels. I used VMware Fusion and I also used Parallels. I tested them both out and I went with Parallels. And one of the reasons was I tried using Pop-Up Card Studio with VMware Fusion and I could not see the red line as detailed as I did in Parallels. So I went with Parallels. Something that you have to also keep in mind is that you're going to need a copy of Windows, of course, and there's two ways to go about it. You can either find an old version. I even went to one of my older computers that had Windows XP on it. I was no longer using that computer, and I found the little Dell install disk, and I used that as my install, and that's what I used was Windows XP. But apparently, with Windows 7 nowadays, you can only you can only register once. It's tied to that computer, and you have to go buy a new one. some other cheap ways to get Windows would be to, if you had a kid in college or if you had a kid in school, you can usually find educational discounts with Windows. But that's what I went with. Michelle, I think she uses Parallels as well. Right, Michelle?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'd go with Parallels. I mean, it's only $79, and you can have your Windows on your Windows and Mac running at the same time. You can drop and drag files. You can share stuff between the filing systems as well. All right. So yeah, I mean, if you want, we can show you Parallels, and but it's just like running Windows. I mean, it's very easy. You just put the install disk in there, and Parallels does everything for you. Installs them in like 20 minutes. And all right. You see any other questions, Ken?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to put Christopher on the spot.
Okay.
This is an easy one for you. Vicky has a question. She actually asked it for me, but Christopher can definitely answer this. She would like to know what is special or different about the German Carbide Cricut Blade. And you're muted, Christopher.
I just figured it out. Okay. The main difference is really the metal that they're made with. It is a much tougher steel. They last a lot longer. I've had the same one on my machine for probably, I'd say roughly about a month and a half, and I just changed it. The new blades, I'll grab one. The new blades actually look like this. They have the red tops. That's the thing that you want to look for whenever you're purchasing them, because the old ones have the green tops, and they can still be used with the machine, but they are not going to last as long. I've noticed that they last a lot longer, and they make a lot smoother of a cut when I'm doing vinyl, because I do a ton of vinyl work, and it's just a better blade altogether.
All right, here's a follow-up question, Chris. It says, if you look on the back, does it say made in China or does it say made in German? No, I'm just joking. Because you said it's a German carbide blade, right? So you would think that was made in Germany.
It does. It actually does. Oh, it says it's made from German engineered carbide.
Oh, okay. But fabricated in China.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. It actually doesn't say where. Oh, yeah, it is made in China.
Okay, sweet. So it's China carbide blade.
Correct.
I'm trying to throw in a little humor here.
And I will say, be very, very, very careful buying them on eBay. I have bought many of them on eBay from China, and some of them are very great, some of them not so great. So I would definitely recommend buying them straight from Cricut, because Cricut, you're getting high quality, you're getting the true Cricut German Carbide blades. The ones that I've gotten on eBay, like I said, some have been great and lasted long. Some of them have dulled very quickly. So I know a lot of people are saying, hey, have you found some on eBay that work great or are just as good? It's very hit and miss, so be very careful. I would use caution.
A lot of criminals. So is Cricut the only place where you can buy these blades, or are they being sold in the Joann Fabrics and Walmarts and
Joann Fabrics has them right now, or some Joann Fabrics are having them right now. Michaels will be getting them, but Joann Fabrics got the leg up on Michaels, but Michaels should be getting them, and then of course Cricut has them right now, but then they'll be distributing them all out, and then I guess some Cricut suppliers will be getting them too online, but for whatever reason I think Joann's got first dibs on them.
And they're actually on sale right now at Cricut.com, so they're part of the big sale. So now's the time to get them. I think they'll be like $7 or something on Cricut.com.
Oh, that's not that much.
Yeah.
No, they're really cheap. They're 40% off.
Yeah. You gotta stock up on them, and then is there any free shipping with that?
Free ship $35.
Yeah.
You have to put $35 in your cart and you get free ship $35, or you can use that coupon code over $50, $5 off. One or the other.
Gotcha. This question, Ken's on the Q&A. maybe Chris can answer. Christopher can answer as well. It says on Design Space, can you outline and cut the same item? That's from Barb Reese.
Am I answering that?
You guys can pick. I don't know.
Sure, go ahead, and I'll just elaborate if there's something more.
Okay, so I wasn't paying attention then. So, can you outline and cut the same item?
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, that is a tricky one. So, I guess what's the clarifying the question? So you can, not at the same time. I mean, you outline and then you can.
I think Barb may have watched the HSN special.
Yes.
Because on the just to clarify for everyone, I watched the HSN special. I know that Ken watched the HSN special. There was a ton of confusion with what was said by the host as well as Anna Griffin. The machine does have a dual head on it, but the dual head does not function simultaneously. The one part, yeah, the one part, it's actually the A portion will hold your scoring tool. It will hold your assorted pens, and the B cartridge is what actually holds the cutting blade. So those do not work together. So you cannot write and cut at the exact same time. What you can do, though, is if you have an image that has a shadow, which I've done a few times, is you can actually write or draw the initial image, and then the shadow that's underneath, you will just attach them together, and you can actually cut out the shadow behind it. So you are able to use that functionality, but it will not work in tandem, which I think was a big. There was a lot of confusion, I think, after that aired on HSN, because she did say actually more than once that the dual head actually works at the same time, but it doesn't.
Correct. Yeah, and you can't write and cut at the same time. It will write. It writes the item, and then it will go back and cut the item at a separate time. And it will actually, in Design Space, tell you, insert your pen separately.
Yeah.
You'll put your pen in, it will go write it, and then it will go back and cut it. So it is two separate actions, complete actions.
Yeah, I think that's what Paulette was saying in the Q&A. She was trying to clarify. She said, does she mean outline with a pen and then cut it out?
Correct.
So I think that's what you just...
Yeah, and also to clarify, and it's all over Facebook. It's on the Cricut blog. The print and cut is not being released in 2 weeks, as it was said on HSN. I think in the Cricut blog it says towards the end of September is when it is being released, and it's very exciting. I'm sure there'll be more information coming out. So, but I know that there was rampant all over Facebook saying it's coming out in 2 weeks, and it was also on HSN towards the end of the day. So there's a lot of stuff coming out about that. So I'm myself waiting on Facebook to hear more information on that as well. So that is a completely separate, because there was more confusion around that. That's separate than the writing function and the cutting. So a lot of people are saying, well, isn't that the same as the print then cut? That's separate than the dual function of the writing and cutting. So a lot of people were getting that confused as well. So.
All right. This is maybe going back to the blade. It says, are they back on sale? $9.99. Is that the normal price of the blades? $9.99?
I believe the normal price might be. I'm actually going to hop over to Cricut.com right now. I believe that the normal price might have been $12.99.
Yeah, it was higher. It was either $12.99 or actually $14.99. I believe it was higher. I know that the $9.99. I know that there was confusion around the subscription price. There was a subscription price for a while there that the subscription price for a monthly was $9.99, and then there was some confusion, and there was a short period of time that the subscription was being given away at $4.99, and there was miscommunication.
That would have been a good deal.
That was a great deal, but it didn't last very long. So I think that is not on sale no more. It's $9.99. But which is a great deal. You get 25,000 plus images. I love my subscription, so I definitely recommend getting it.
Right now, normally the price of the new Cricut Blade is $12.99, and right now you are actually able to get them for $7.79. They're actually listed on the website, which is really, really good. For I mean, as long as they last, I think that's a really, really good price.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is a good deal. Someone did mention that they've still been using their originals that came in.
Oh yeah.
That's what Kathy was saying. She said that she still has an original blade that came with the Explorer, and she used her machine almost every day, and since then the blade is still working great.
Yep. And once again, I can't stress enough, you guys, make sure to buy the Cricut Blades. I know a ton of people are going to eBay to buy Roland blades and other third-party blades. The Cricut Blades are the way to go.
You can mess up your machine, which is not not good.
Someone mentioned about the HSN. I guess they said you're right. They did say that print cuts come. Said you're right. They did say it. I know it's coming the later part of September for print cut. So I guess print cut for Cricut's coming late September. Is that what the word is, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Late September.
And you did not have to purchase your Cricut Explore last night to get it. That was also another kind of a situation that I guess.
The ones yesterday are magical.
Yeah, the host kind of said that, or I think it was actually Anna Griffin that said it, that you had to, with this machine that was being purchased yesterday with her images on it, that was going to have the printer cut. That is not true. Every machine that has been purchased thus far will have the printer cut on it. The capability is in every single machine. It just hasn't been released with the software yet.
Yes, everyone's waiting for that too. Should be a good deal.
Should be amazing
once it comes out. This question, I'm not good with vinyl, so maybe Michelle or Ken or Christopher. They asked the question, ScrappyDew, are we able to turn the ScrappyDew patterns into vinyl cuts? I don't know.
You are. The thing you have to be careful on, and it's easy to do in Silhouette Studio, is the ScrappyDew is when you're layering them, you want to be careful because a lot of ScrappyDew cuts are going to layer on top of each other, and when you do that with vinyl, you're going to be able to see the layers be underneath each other. So you're going to see the lines and you're going to see the colors underneath each other. So in Silhouette Studio, you're going to want to use that subtract function so you actually can cut out those pieces. And it's then essentially kind of like a puzzle piece, and you're going to puzzle the pieces all together. And essentially that way you're getting rid of those other pieces below it. Because if not, if you're layering the pieces on top of it, you're going to see, the only way I can describe it is you're going to see those layers underneath each layers, and you see those lines and it doesn't look as good. But you can essentially, it's just like layering papers, just layering vinyl.
Yeah.
So,
I think Ken has on his blog, he did a ScrappyDew one of Support the Troops shirt, and he had a trooper.
Yeah.
Remember that, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and you even had a video to show you how to do it. All right. I don't know if you're seeing any more questions. Looking at the comment tracker. All right. I'm really not seeing anything new. All right. So I did want to bring up some, the SVG Viewer. I know we had that one question from one of the audience members. She's having some issues with the SVG Viewer that we have, and we're going to get with you offline because there is a delay in this thing, and it would just be it'd eat up a lot of time going back and forth waiting for it to happen. So we're going to get in contact with you after the show, but we did want to show you that we do have, let me pull up this real quick. So on the -12 web, if you go to the SVG Viewer, so you come up here, SVG Viewer. For those of you that are on the edge of whether or not you actually want this or not, I do have a trial version. So you can either purchase it up here or you can download a trial based upon what system you have, Windows or Mac. So go ahead and try the download. It works exactly the same as the actual one, but it will still search your entire directory that you give it for files. It will list them all for you, but it will only show you, if you actually select it, it will actually show you the first 5. So after the first 5, it will ask you to purchase it. But I guess if your directory only has 5 files in there, you can stick with the free one, right? But if you like it, you enjoy it, feel free to purchase it. It's only $8. It shows your SVGs for you. We've done plenty of videos on it before. You can even scroll down here and actually see how it works if you are interested. Yeah, so go ahead and try out the trial if you're on the fence on whether or not you actually wanted it or not. That's a pretty cool program, especially if you do have Windows, because there's not a native way to view your SVGs that you have. So check it out. Download the trial. All right. All right, Christopher, you got any? You came on the show. You helped us out. I didn't know if you had any Cricut type of news for us that you wanted to put out for the Cricut viewers out there. I know we've been talking about it a lot.
There's not really much news, I guess, right now. I mean, obviously, we talked about the printer cut earlier, which is very, very exciting. That it will be coming to us, actually, I guess, sooner than it was first announced. There's a sale, obviously, going on right now that we mentioned a couple of times, the 40% off. There haven't been any updates or anything with the software. I think they're kind of waiting for the print-to-cut software to come out for them to do any of the updates. I would everyone to check your subscription. They did add quite a few new cartridges in the past week. I know that I'm always surprised whenever I go in and I find new things, and I see that some of the licensed images have actually been added. I actually discovered the other night that one of the Teresa Collins cartridges that I really, really like, it's called Chic and Scary, is actually available in the subscription, which I did not know because most of, obviously, the licensed images aren't in there. But I would just say, check your subscription daily because they're always adding new things in there.
And probably they do send out a lot of stuff in their newsletters. It's almost like they send something out every day. Mm-hmm. I guess some good deals on the weekends. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Checking the comments. I don't know. You see anything, Ken, that stands out to you? Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up tonight? Well, I did sort of want to plug you, Ken, a little bit, because you came out with some two new videos. I don't know if you can show your blog where they can find these 2 new videos of if you are a previous owner of the if you have the Expressions 2.
Sure. Yeah.
Ken did an extensive review. It's about 50 minutes long for the long version. Short version is about 20 minutes, and it goes over the Expressions 2 and the Cricut Explorer. It almost does like a battle on which one's the best. Should you upgrade, and some of the the features that the Explorer has that the Expression 2 doesn't.
Yeah, let me share my screen here. So over at my blog, right at the top here, I have a link to my YouTube channel. And this will take you to my YouTube channel. And if you've never been to my YouTube channel, if you're just getting there, there will be a subscribe button, so make sure you're subscribed so you get all of my links. But the first thing I always have is a compare machines, because that's one of my favorite things I do. I always like to compare my machines and see what's new and see how they pair up. So I've did one to compare the Cricut Explorer versus the Cricut Expression 2. I had the Cricut Expression 2 for a very long time. I love that machine, but the Cricut Explorer just has so much more to offer. It's got some great, amazing upgrades that I've never seen before, and I wanted to see how it compared and why people should really upgrade the Cricut Explorer from the Cricut Expression 2, and why for right now it's only $75 price difference between the Cricut Expression 2 and the Cricut Explorer. Only $75 between these two machines. And so I wanted to do a video to tell people why for $75, what technology they get for $75 to the Cricut Explore. So this video here is the longer video, but I really go over all of the great differences, and then this here is the short summary video here. Basically, all of the I basically take all of the high points and condense it down. So make sure you're subscribing, because I did just acquire a Brother Scan and Cut, so I'm going to be not only doing a review of that machine, but I am going to be doing a competition between the Silhouette Cameo and the Explorer to see how it does on just cutting, and soon the print and cut, and just how it does. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could pick out, you know, 2 features that you like about the Explorer compared to the Expressions 2, what would that be?
First of all, the number one thing I love about the Explorer is the smart dial technology. The Cricut Expressions 2, everyone had these sheets attached to their Expressions 2 that they would say, okay, if I'm cutting fabric, I need my pressure to be this and my speed to be this, and I need to do this, and it was crazy. And people would get on Facebook and say, okay, I'm cutting this, how do I make sure I cut all the way through? And now all you have to do is move your dial, and the machine does everything for you. It speeds up, it slows down. The smart dial technology and cut smart technology is amazing on this machine. So that's the number one thing that I like. And actually the second thing I like is design space. When I first got this machine, I was not crazy about design space because I was so used to the Silhouette Studio software, but what they've done with design space is they've taken out all of the fussy stuff, and they've made it to where it does all of the work, all of the background noise is taken out, to where we can just concentrate on the designing. We can concentrate on literally just bringing our designs into the space and hitting go, and it does everything else for us. So as much as a lot of people are complaining, oh, we don't have as much of the features that I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do this, every time I've reached out to Cricut and said, hey, I want these features, they've said, they're coming, don't worry, we're getting there. However, we want it to be perfect. We want it to be dead on when we release that. And so far, I have to admit, everything that they've delivered with this machine has been dead on. So I can't complain so far. I was actually waiting for this machine to fail. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting it to be as of a success when I didn't think it was going to stand up to the Cameo as much as it has, and I've been very, very impressed with it.
Now, Chris, have you ran into any? Well, I see in the background that you have your museum of machines there.
Yes.
And I mean, you told us earlier the reason was because in case you don't have any online activity. I mean, is that the main reason why you kept those? Because in Ken's video, he mentioned that the cartridge, you cannot use just a cartridge in the Explorer and have it work. So, but basically, where are you nowadays where there's no internet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I personally like the functionality of the internet just simply because everything is saved in the cloud. You can go. I've had times where I'm actually working on my sister's wedding right now, doing literally everything with my Cricut Explore. So to have the ability to take my Cricut Explore and go to my mom's house or go to my sister's and be able to do everything that I can do at my house is great. I don't have to lug around cartridges anymore, which was my biggest thing whenever I had my older machines. I hated bringing cartridges with me everywhere. Also, having the cartridges and your friend saying, oh my goodness, I forgot that cartridge, now we can't do this project. And now to have over 25,000 images at my fingertips and to be able to do that is great. I've never had a problem with the internet. I know that there are some people that say that their internet goes down. I honestly, knock on wood, since I've had internet, I don't think my internet has ever really gone down. It is 2014. I mean, the internet doesn't really go down. And I also I really like the style of the machine. It's a great new. I mean, the look of the new machine. It looks like Yes, I think it was actually mentioned. I think it was maybe a CNET report that whenever they first received the machine, they thought it was an Apple product. It is. I mean, it's a beautiful. I mean, just to have it sitting on your studio or craft station. I'm actually looking at mine right now. It's over here. It just looks really, really good. So it's just a nice machine to have sitting, because I mean, with some of the other machines, they were a little bit clunkier and they had crazy colors, and it's not. It's this. I mean, it's just a whole new machine for anyone that doesn't have one. It's definitely something that I would highly recommend, and I use mine for at least 2 hours a day.
Yeah. So now, since it's online, so while you're at work now, instead of Facebook, and you can be creating your project, saving it, and then go
Absolutely.
home and make it. I know that's what Ken does at his bank every day.
Yes.
So, all right. Yeah, Vicky sent us a reminder. I totally forgot about this. You know, saving files and what happens if your computer crashes. Michelle, maybe she can spool up what she has with the SkyDrive. What I use, you know, what I use is the Dropbox. And if you go to Dropbox.com, let me screen share here. And I've done a video on the Dropbox and what it does, but it looks like my screen's freezing. Hopefully the audio is still coming through. Let me know, Ken. Is it still coming through? My audio? Okay. All right. So basically what Dropbox will do is you download this program and it puts a little folder on your computer. And when you have that little folder on your computer, anything that you put inside that folder will be sort of synced to Dropbox. So, and only you as the user can have access to it. So if I go to Dropbox.com, and you can go ahead and click the sign up. Well, I'm already signed in, but let me sign out here. So you can, if you go to Dropbox.com, you can create a new account right here. You can sign in, and you can also click the download button. There'll be a download button for you guys that are new, and you can either go via web, or I rarely use the web portion, but up here you'll see a little Dropbox icon, and you can actually navigate to the folder. And let me pull my folder over. So this right here is my Dropbox. So every single thing that is inside here will be synced up to Dropbox. I can log on to another computer. I can download the Dropbox app, and when I do that, it will automatically sync all my files. And it's great. Like myself and my wife, Crystal, she will make her projects on her own computer, and then when she's ready for me to do what I do to them, then she will put them in my Dropbox so that I can manipulate the files and do everything, and then I can bring it all to you guys. Now the thing with Dropbox that you got to keep in mind is if you share out a folder, or if you go to another computer and you update it, it's going to change it for everybody. So if I share one of these folders, because you can say, hey, I want to share, I want to share my whole ScrappyDew library with Ken. I can share a folder, and he can see it on his computer. So, and if he makes a change to it, it will reflect that on my end too. So you want to be careful on how you share things. If you do want to share the public folder is really great if you wanted to, share a file with somebody that you created, because anything in the public folder, you can right-click and hit Copy Public Link, and it will copy to your clipboard. You can share that link with anybody, and they only get access to that one file. They don't get access to your whole public folder. So that's what's great about Dropbox. There's also a thing called Google Drive. Google Drive is free as well, so check that out. I do use that as well. So if you are logged into Google Plus or YouTube, you have a Drive computer or a Drive account. You just go to drive.google.com, and it's a great way to share things as well. So I have a ScrappyDew folder in here that I share out. So it's a pretty cool program with that as well. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. She's got the SkyDrive, because that's another option. That's Microsoft's version of Dropbox, and Dropbox and Google Drive. All right, I can see your desktop.
Okay. I use the web portion of the OneDrive. The only files I really keep in this drive are the Mojo Mondays, some of the ScrappyDew pattern files I create, and a couple others. I do have other access to another service where most of my main files are. So if you do have a Microsoft account, you also have a OneDrive. You can either go here and download it, and you could sync your files just like Rob showed with the OneDrive as well. But like I said, I use the web portion of it, and I'm going to go in and sign in. Okay, these are all my folders in the drive, and it will show your files, your recent documents, all your photos, and files that you share. And there is a 15 gig available, and right now it's showing me that I have 14.9 available. Okay, and you can also move my screen a little bit. Let me go back into.
And that's what Michelle uses for all her Mojo Mondays. That's how she
The Mojo
shares
Mondays,
the file.
correct. Okay. I'm just going to delete this for now to show the example. Okay, these are my folders for Mojo Mondays. I actually started doing them in 2011. Something happened where my 2011 folder got deleted off Microsoft. It was there one day, and then the next one I logged in, it wasn't. So I lost a lot of files. I don't have them anymore because what I did is basically uploaded them to the drive, and I was deleting them off my computer. Ever since then, I've backed them up, and I also keep them on my computer. So if that ever happens again, I can always upload them again. What you can do is you can sort them by name or date, or if you want to sort them by ascending or descending. You can also get a list view. You get the folder view, and then you will get the properties view, and this is the properties of the whole complete Mojo Monday file. Okay, and I'm going to go into this one because it has only a couple files in there. Okay, close that out. Okay, and then what you can also do is, just like, you could create a folder, excuse me. And another good thing too is if you do have Microsoft Office, you can also click on a Word document. I have Microsoft Office for Mac, so I'm able to click on any of these selections here, and I'm actually able to create a document or an Excel workbook or a PowerPoint presentation, and it will also save it to this folder. And then if you create a new folder and you name it, I'm just going to call it test, and hit create. Okay, and I'm going to click on it to select it, and you just go to upload, and I'm going to upload Debbie's project. And it does take a second or so. Okay, and then what you can do is you can click on share, okay, and get a link. And right here you can change the option. You can have it to view only. So if you just want the person to view what's inside that folder, or if you want them to be able to edit what's inside the folder, or you can make it public. And then you just create link, and then you click on shorten link, and then you just copy and paste it, and you would share that with, if you want to share particular files with a group, or you want to email the link to someone to be able to have them have access to the files inside that folder. So that's a great alternative to, there's the Dropbox, there's the Google Drive. There's this one, the OneDrive. I don't know if there's any others. Ken, do you use any others?
No, I use Google Drive mostly for everything.
Okay.
That's the main one, and that seems to be the most popular, and that's just because everything is attached to Google for me, and it's the most convenient.
That's what I use too. I mostly use the Google Drive, but this one already had my Mojo, so I just kept them in there.
Yeah, and with all these services that they have, you get a variety of storage space. Dropbox starts you off with 2 gigs, and if you refer people, I think it goes up maybe 250 megs a person, something like that. Google, I think they give us 5 gigs.
That's up to 15 gigs, I think, for Google now.
15 now. See, I'm behind the times. Yeah, so 15 gigs, Google. But one thing to keep in mind with any of these, they're going up where on someone's server. So just be mindful on what kind of items you may want to put on there, because anything could be hackable. So keep that in mind. I don't know, Chris, do you use any? Are you still floppy disk?
Yes. No, I use Google Drive as well because everything goes to one place.
Google Drive's a way to go.
And it was the most space that I did some research on them to put all of my different drawings and sketches and things like that for the SVG files that I create, and that's the place that I wanted to store them because it's so easy because everything's connected to Google. It seems like now.
Yeah, I mean it's you don't. I mean Michelle, she said that there's a place to download on her app for that Dropbox. You have an app that you can download. Google Drive, you have an app that you can download, and you can all it's just you take this file and you drag it into the folder, and Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever automatically uploads it to the Drive system. So it's fairly easy to work with. I do like it. Looking through any questions. I don't know. Are you seeing any, Ken? I don't know if you've been looking. I did see someone asked something about the ScrappyDew Vault. And let me screen share real quick so we can let everyone know what the Vault is, where you can find it. Basically, if you go to scrappydew.com/members, you'll be able to find it. I'm trying to share my desktop here. Computer is not cooperating. I'm frozen on my end. I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I think my desktop is finally cooperating. All right. So scrappydew.com/members. You'll go here. You'll find this video. The video basically walks you through what the Vault membership is, and of course it's only a one-time fee, $19.99, and you'll get instant access to all these files. We just retired, well, not retired because they're still in the store, but if you're looking at anything in the store that has a 2001 associated with it, is now in the Vault. Okay, so you can see all these cool files that are in there. We do post all the freebies. All previous freebies will be in the Vault as well throughout the years of ScrappyDew. So we have previous freebies and retired sets. Retired sets mean they're not in the store, but they are now in the Vaults. So just like this one right here, the Farm Pals, that's when we first came out. We have Farm Pals. We have Under the Sea, Zoo Collection. These are, I'd say, probably 2009-ish types of files. But these other freebies are within anywhere from 2009 all the way up until current 2014. So how often do we put files in here? Let me see if I can find one. Usually towards the bottom here. I know we did do a Monsters Inc. one that we put in there. That was, I don't think this show is actually updated, so I may have to update that. But we try to put new files in there. Maybe once every other month we put new files in there. If we decide to retire some of them, or just like last month we decided to dump, I don't know how many of these are, but all of 2011 patterns. So you will stay busy just knocking those out. And whenever you do log in, make sure you download the Scrappy list so you guys can keep track of what patterns you guys do have and what you guys don't have. And once you sign in, you'll see where that Scrappy list is. All right. Going through questions. Like I said, Ken, I don't know if you said you haven't seen any.
Nope.
Okay.
No, just comments on the Explorer, just how it's great. It's got tons of storage. You can hide the mats under it, which if you watch my video on YouTube, you'll see all of that. They did a great job designing it, so definitely watch the video.
Yep, I think Paulette mentioned something about the legs. She liked the legs on it or something.
Yeah, the legs lifted up to where, and a lot of people don't know this, and I pointed it out on my video, but the legs on it raise it up just enough to where you can actually slide your mats right under it and store your mats under the Explorer.
Yep, pretty cool. All right. Well, we definitely went over the hour mark, I think, this time. So sorry, but we did talk about a lot of cool stuff. I do want to thank everyone for coming. We loved the participation that we had this time. Loved all the viewers. Make sure you guys come back. We're going to try to knock this out every Thursday, same time. And like I said, whenever I post these newsletters out, feel free to ask your questions early, because we'll get to them in this little question box. Okay. And we always try to pick some topics that are hopefully relative, that you guys can relate to with your cutters. But the main reason we've been talking a lot of Cricut, we've been getting a lot of Cricut questions. So if you do have a question about another cutter or another software, feel free to ask it. We'll try to answer it for you. So thanks again for coming. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.